Watch, I wasn't even recording. I am recording.
Down with the thickness.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what I am going to start doing though next week?
What?
Baking more.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. I'm going to make a pumpkin pie for Christmas.
I like baking.
So live your life.
Let's do it. We're going to make so many sweets.
I've been craving cherry pie after we've been watching Twin Peaks because they talk about cherry pie every episode.
Oh, because of Buck Cherry?
No, I have no idea why, but they're just always like cherry pie, cherry pie. And I'm like, you know what? I've never tried cherry pie, but it sounds good.
I don't think it is.
I've never tried it, so.
I feel like it's just corn. It's like dyed corn syrup and maraschino cherries in crust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like apple pie, like that makes sense with like the cinnamon. You're like, yum, fruit.
It's the same thing with coffee where they're constantly drinking coffee, and I'm like, oh man, coffee sounds good. And I'm like, wait, I hate coffee. But I've just seen everybody drinking it and enjoying it. I'm like, man,
I should give me some of that.
How do I get involved in this?
Is there somebody I could write to?
Yeah. To make me enjoy
get
hot
my forms
beverages
together.
Pour yourself a hot cup of G Fuel to make up for it.
Yeah, dude, I tried drinking
hot G Fuel.
I tried drinking hot tea even when we were at the cabin, and I just can't do hot beverages.
Really?
I just can't do it.
Once Travis and I, before we ever smoked weed, tried to make Baja Blast into tea.
How?
We boiled it.
You guys, you know what you could have done? Made a Baja Blast Jello.
We did.
Did you?
Yeah, we did.
That's so smart. That's literally like
that
the
was
next
what
step.
we did first, and then we were like, I wonder if we can make just like a tea, and that didn't work.
Should have made a Baja Blast Jello pie.
Ooh. She's my Jello pie.
Baja Blast Jello shots, Jake.
Yeah, that's
not
actually
a bad
pretty
idea.
cool.
Imagine.
But it wouldn't get bubbly. You wouldn't keep the bubbles.
No, but it still tastes good.
It tastes.
Flat Baja Blast arguably still tastes good.
I'm gonna argue for the nay.
No, I know that we all love bubbles in this house. We stand bubbles, but
Yeah.
I still think the Baja Blast tastes fine without it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, I hear you, but also.
But
no.
also, this is the Lousy Advice Podcast.
Also, this is
look,
the
I
Lousy
took it
Advice
from you.
Podcast. You did take it from me.
We love a plot twist.
The end
Hey,
of
guys.
the year, I've been dethroned.
We're a band.
We are a band. Our band is called Lousy Advice, but we are also a podcast, and this is our podcast.
Who's
My
our
name's
guest
Eric.
this week?
My name is Shelby.
My name's Jake.
What did you ask?
I said, who's our guest this week?
Hubert Dubois.
Our hot-ass beautiful faces.
Oh, yeah. Nobody,
The-
nerds.
The hot-ass legends, Lousy Advice.
Hubie, come
Because
on.
nobody else was good enough to make this list is what it is.
It's true, yeah. We looked at everybody in our lives and said, no, heart.
Can't handle the responsibility.
This
what
list
it
is too important. It needs to
They
just
could
be
not
us.
handle it. Yeah. It's also fun to kind of like not have the pressure. Not that guests are pressure, but, you know.
But you
Go-
all stress us out, guests.
We get stressed. Got to go back to the core. Got to work on the core, as
Yeah.
it were, you know.
Yeah.
Coming into this new year, got to work on the core. Core. I don't know
get
what
it.
I'm saying.
You love the movie The Core.
I do. Wait, what? No, I don't even know that movie.
Yeah, it's where they were drilling to the center of the earth.
Isn't that Journey to the Center of the Earth?
It's 2003's The Core, you know?
Okay,
Starring
Jake,
Hilary
We've
Swank.
not seen every movie. You have seen every movie. We don't do that. Well, I
Starring
don't do that,
Hilary
at least.
Swank?
Yes. It's
wow,
it's
that's so
it's
quiet, I
like
didn't realize.
it's
Can you
like
believe that? I know.
it's like Armageddon, but instead of an asteroid, they're going to the center of the earth.
Well, you could argue that the Earth is an asteroid. So which
Sure.
movie are we talking about now,
Oh my gosh,
sir? I do want to see it. Kind of. I don't know. Do I?
It's
Am I
Hilary
saying that to
Swank
just
and Aaron
appease
Eckhart.
people? Whoa. Is that okay? So this is like a real movie, not a fake
Yes,
movie.
it's a real movie.
Oh, no shit. Not to say that when it was Hilary Swank, I wasn't giving it credit as like a
Yeah.
real movie, and it wasn't until the man showed up
Oh yeah.
that I decided to be like, wow, this is real.
Wow.
Patriarchy, you guys.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate it. This is the Lousy Advice Podcast. This episode has no guests because we are good enough. Yeah. You know what? That's called self-care and self-improvement. We're good enough. And this episode is the best albums of 2020 canon forever. Our opinions are the only ones that matter.
Yeah.
True.
And we're creating the list of the only albums that mattered this year. Cool.
How did everybody feel making the list?
You know what? If I had to make this list in 2019, I would have had a very hard time. But this year, there were not a ton of albums that I was like, oh, album of the year. So I actually didn't have a hard time very much.
I feel like I wasn't in the mood for like a ton of new music this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of like made it more difficult for me to search things out.
Yeah, I mean, it was tricky because it was kind of just like, I mean, I feel like a lot of music discovery comes from performances. Or at least for us, like I discover a lot of new bands just by like being at a show and they're the opener or playing a show and it's like, I've never listened to this band. This is great.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So not having that was definitely kind of like a But I mean, my list is bands we would never play with anyways because they're too famous. So I don't even know why that had anything to do with this.
My list has a couple of bands that we've played with.
Oh, you
my
know what?
list definitely has a couple as well, and I think they're mostly bands that we would or could play with. Genre,
I'm pretty stoked.
Genre notwithstanding.
I like that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of synergy in this episode. I know that there's probably going to be some dumb shit, but there's going to be a lot of synergy overall.
I think so.
But also a lot of dumb shit.
We'll hope see. So. I really hope so, to be honest.
We'll see. Yeah.
The slate is clean for vetoes.
Oh, so we each have one?
We each have one.
Yeah.
Whoa. Talk about a New Year's resolution. But we're still in December. What's up, Hubert? What are you doing,
What
buddy?
just happened?
He just
rolled up.
Instead of jumping off the couch, he fully rolled his entire head over my shoulder and threw his body off of the couch onto the ground, got up, shook it off, and was like, what's up?
He's feeling
was like,
better these days.
You want to come sit here? Come sit here. Yeah. Oh, you just want to get a cuddle. Okay. All right.
Fuck you too, Hubie.
Oh.
Okay, guys, I'm excited.
Okay, how are we going to start this? Don't hit that chord, buddy.
Who wants to read the rules
Be careful.
for the first-time listeners?
Hubert, go that way.
Oh, I don't have it.
Oh shit!
Do you have it in front of you, Jake?
Yeah.
Jake, can you read it? I don't have it in front of me.
I can get it.
Do you want to be the daddy of the show?
Okay.
The daddy of the pod?
Oh, whoa, aggressive.
Hello and welcome to Toon Draft, baby. I threw in a baby in there because I want to be playful. A game in which members of Lousy Advice or guests, no guests this time, will competitively collaborate to create artist or genre-centric or other-centric best-of lists. There's no draft commissioner this evening. The people creating this list tonight will be Lousy Advice.
Woo! Wait, there's no draft commissioner. Does that mean we're each going to be fighting for it?
For who draft commissioner is?
Is it going to be like King of the Mountain or King of the Hill or whatever?
Yeah.
We're all just going to be racing to see who gets to lead into the next
Yeah, that's what I'm
portion.
Yeah.
That's what.
Right?
Okay, cool. Great.
So for you first-time listeners, long-time callers.
First of all, how dare you? Second of all,
Thanks for getting on board.
wow, kind of late, huh?
Yeah, kind of late to the game. You should probably leave a 5-star podcast review as a as a payment.
You owe it to
Oh,
us.
you really owe it to us.
Yeah. So here are the rules. Normally we would be asking a trivia question, but this evening we're going to be spinning a wheel to determine our draft positions. And the draft positions are as follows. One person will be drafting into the positions 11, 10, 6, and 3, which is lowest placement, but you get 4 picks, and you get the often coveted, rarely used veto override, in which you can cancel out a veto that's played on a choice that isn't your own. The second choice is 9, 8, 5, and 2, which is a it's 4 choices in the middle of the list, which is nice. And the third position is 7, 4, and 1, which is the least amount of choices, but you get that number 1 spot. You get that number 1 hotness for the list.
Got that hot number one coming in fresh.
Each player will also be receiving a veto, which they can use to knock a song choice from its current placement on the list, either because you don't think it belongs on the list or believe it belongs higher up. Whatever the case, it can no longer be replayed in that spot, and the drafter must choose another song. You can roll over a veto into your next appearance or playing the game. I phrased that really weird. That's fine. Let's move past it. But only one you can roll over it. So you can never roll over multiple vetoes. So yeah, there it is. I'm assuming nobody has
so
questions.
I do. It's not pertaining to that. Before we move on with this podcast, do you guys want to start calling vetoes Danny DeVitos, or is that not cute? Or is that too cute to be cool?
It's gonna be a no from me.
It's gonna be a no. Okay, Jake.
Yeah, I'm indifferent on it, so it's
okay. Then that's a good lukewarm to cold. So we're gonna go ahead and skip it. I thought I'd try it. I don't know.
And what I was gonna say too,
new year, new us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Going into the year with a new take, a new vibe.
I like the way your brain works.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're
what
welcome.
I was gonna say was
It's very wrinkly.
our criteria for picking the releases on this was 4 songs or more.
Yes.
Yes.
That was our criteria.
Yeah. So arguably, some of these could be what would be considered EPs.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But
Which it's
I don't
it's
think
just
I have any of those, but
I feel like when you run in the DIY scene, as it were, a lot of people do EPs.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
those have to be considered in the best releases.
well, in the larger music industry as a whole,
It's
though,
moving
that's
to that.
becoming more of a regular thing too.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Singles
It's
and EPs, you're getting people at the Grammys being like best debut, even though they've been a band for 5 years and they've put out 8 EPs and
Yeah.
no full length, and then they're like best new album or best
new
debut or best
Yeah.
new artist. Yeah, cheat the system. Also, fuck the system. But I do want a Grammy, so
Cheat it and fuck it.
If you can send it to me, if you can send it to us collectively,
Grammy
Fuck.
Academy, if you're listening, ding that bell.
consider us and consider leaving a nice review.
I know you looked at Dog Party, and I know
Did
that
they?
we're they did this thing at the Hall of Fame thing, like they did a show, I believe it was something like that. Anyway,
I think what you meant to say earlier was fuck the system and then cheat on it.
yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Whoa.
Sorry,
That was deep.
that's
Fuck
That
the
was
system
deep.
and then leave them on red.
yeah.
Whoa.
You know what? We love that moment.
Okay, so
whatever.
whatever it was. So I'm gonna spin the wheel.
All right.
I'm gonna spin the wheel here.
Spin
Okay.
this wheel, guys.
Wheel
Make the
of
deal. Everybody ready here?
fortune. Yeah, the audience can't see this, but we have a fake wheel on spinthewheel.com, and
Eric.
oh
you, Eric.
no way! Oh,
Eric gets to pick first this week, guys.
what a treaty McTreat treat!
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Oh,
What is
fuck.
your choice?
Oh, god damn it. This is going to be a rough one for me.
Wave at yourself.
Hubie's rude. He just
Yeah.
went to the other couch to sit away from me.
Fuck. I kind of want it to be picked for me. Shit.
I'll pick it for you.
Okay, wait. This is not the choice, but if you were to pick mine, what would you pick for me?
No. If I were to pick yours,
Like, pick my placement. What
I'd
would
pick 11, 10, 6, and 2.
you would pick 11, 10, 6,
Yeah.
and 3.
3, yeah.
Mm.
Because I know you want a lot of picks.
I want a lot of picks, but I don't know if I want those picks. I'm going to go 9852.
Rats.
Sorry. 9852.
That's the one I wanted. So I was going to be like, don't do that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You asked me and I was being
Here we go.
manipulative, so it's my fault.
The remaining choice here. God damn it.
Yay! Yay! Okay.
That's Shelby.
I'm skeptical because I don't really want to give Jake the number 1 spot,
Well, here's the issue is
but I want more choices.
you know exactly what I'm gonna play at number 1.
Do I though?
Do we?
Yeah. You definitely do.
What, Poppy?
No. But you know exactly what I'm gonna play at number 1.
I really don't. So, but you know what? I believe that I have Eric on my side this episode.
Oh, are you wearing their shirt?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I want 11, 10, 6, and 3.
Okay.
I want more choices. I don't want you to have that many choices, Jake.
I've got great
just
stuff
kidding.
on here.
I'm just kidding. I don't mind what you put. I just want more of my choices on there. And I want that veto override because that could come in handy this episode specifically.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
feel good. I feel good with my decision.
Yeah, there was literally only 2 choices I could have put as number 1. So
Fair enough.
I want to know what the other one is.
I think it's probably on everybody else's list. Maybe we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we just get this ball rolling? Is that crazy? Am I going to take the lead here? Okay. This is Lousy Advice Draft, best 2020 albums. If you disagree, you're wrong. Unfortunately,
Indeed.
even if I disagree with some of these, I am also wrong, even though I'm part of it. It's a whole thing. Paradox, existentialism. We love it. We're going to start it off with number 11. Number 11 is going to Shelby.
Me. So whenever I have the 11, 10, 6, and 3 position, I always have to automatically kick the actual 10 and 11 on my list off. I don't know why I'm like this, but I am. So at number 11, this might be a great choice. You guys might think this is a great choice, or you guys might be mad at me because it's pretty low.
You know what? I haven't actually been nervous at all about this episode, and
It's
suddenly
all
I'm devastatingly nervous.
So
Whoa.
coming in at number 11 is going to be Brave Faces, Everybody by Spanish Love Songs.
Okay.
Jake's already mad at me. It's fine.
That's so low.
I've made my... It is very low, but for my list personally, this is... You have to think about it my point of view. Yes. From my point of view,
I don't
I had two
understand
other
what
artists
point of view
under
puts
this.
it that low.
because we all listen to different records, Jake, and that's where it fell on my list, and that's where it's going to stay unless you like to use your veto on number 11.
Full disclosure, that was my other number 1.
Well...
Oh, was it?
Yes, easily.
Oh.
Well.
Not as like a ding to them by any means, but I just thought
That's how
for
this
some reason
cookie
thought it was going to
crumbled.
be something
And
else.
it's also Brave Faces Everyone, not Brave Faces Everybody. Thank you.
That's what I said, right?
You said everybody.
She said everyone.
No, you said everybody. Roll it back.
I said everyone.
In the edit, roll it back right now.
I'm pausing it right now and okay, whatever. We'll decide
Well-
who's right in the end.
Yeah.
We'll
and in
let
the end, it doesn't even matter.
Okay, this is one of those vote from home moments. If you think she said, no, I mean we can't do that. We don't have the technology. Ideas before technology, as it were. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that that's listed. I'm gonna leave it.
Was it higher on your list, Eric? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Should I say that on pod? Is that rude?
What do you mean?
It was
Was
so
it
it
higher?
was number 2.
It wasn't on my.
It was number 2 on my
It's
list.
okay if it wasn't on your list.
It
There
was.
were a lot
it
of
wa-
releases.
It wasn't on my list.
Yeah, it was number 2 for me. Because it's a phenomenal record.
It's a
It
great,
is, it's a
record.
great record.
It's a great record.
It is a record that on multiple occasions this year has brought me to tears.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of those, but really when I'm in my feelings.
Okay,
it's a
Ariana.
yeah, when I'm in my feelings, I really it's a record that I really dive into. I like put my headphones in and I'm just gonna feel whatever it is that's happening right now.
It is an incredible record. It just wasn't on my list.
Yeah, I think it's got a really good cohesive nature. Like it feels like an actual record
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the sense that it's
From
an
start to
artistic
finish.
piece,
Yeah.
as opposed to just
When
a collection
I
of
want to
songs.
listen from one to final.
Yeah.
From one to final.
Last, like
Yeah.
in order.
I didn't
Really?
say
Air
everybody.
track listing was.
I didn't say everybody. Then
Yeah.
2 minutes later is on to one to final.
Shut the fuck up, Jacob. These are two different things.
Do you
And two
guys-
different types of errors.
do you
So I'm
guys-
going to need you to get your shit together.
Do you guys want to do a podcast up on them? JK LOL.
We already did.
Go listen, you cowards.
You cowards.
Yeah.
Jake froze. Oh,
Yeah, you
oh,
froze on
he's
mine.
back.
You're fine. I
Well,
was
no,
just, I
you-
was just powering through it.
Okay.
It must have been
Yeah.
the system.
You froze on our. It was you who froze, not us.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Okay.
Jake.
Sorry about that.
But yeah,
I
I mean, it's
Cool,
obvious that
I'm sorry.
we like this band enough to do a list on them. So that says
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
as
For
it is.
sure.
But yeah, it was much higher
Sure.
up in mine. I don't think I'm going to veto it because I just have to be happy things make the list on this.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
So I'm in a situation where it was my number 2. I want that on the record. I want it considered. I want it heard that it was number 2 on my
Well,
list.
on this list though, it's 11, and that's gonna be okay.
And it was number 1 on my list until the best band in the universe put out a record this year.
Aw.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll get to that.
yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Cool. So Spanish Love Songs, Brave Faces, Everyone coming in at number 11.
Yay!
I'm gonna feel bad playing some of mine higher than it. So the ones on my list.
And that's gonna be okay.
And that's gonna be fine, because it's a group effort. You know.
It's true.
And what the best thing is we will go over for the record what we picked later. So, cool.
Yay.
This is back to Shelby.
I know. So this was a little bit higher on my list, but I really want to make sure it gets on it because it's a record that I listened to at the beginning of the year when it came out back in, I think it was March. And I was like, oh, this really resonates with me. I really love it. And then the past couple weeks, I have re-fallen in love with it. And I was like, wow, I'm stupid because it's a great record. It is Halsey. She put out a record this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were going to go somewhere completely different
No,
with that.
it's Manic by Halsey.
Okay.
Manic by Halsey. It's gorgeous. She, Heartbreak makes a lot of really great records in this world that we live in, but I think that it really made this record specifically. And as somebody who is bipolar, a lot of what she writes about resonates with me because it's about her being bipolar. So, personal level.
I haven't listened to anything off of it yet.
Listen to 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Because that's the song that like got me back hooked on it. I listened to it and I was like, oh, like you can just hear that she has so many different influences and that she's just so cool and her voice is beautiful. And overall, I think it as a pop record, it is not what you hear a lot of these days.
I like that. No, I really overall, I think I really like Halsey.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I
Jake,
like that song.
Jake, how do you feel?
Jake, how do you feel?
I have no idea who that is.
Listen to 3 a.m. at some point. Once it gets into the chorus, I'm just like, oh, this reminds me of the pop that I loved back in the 90s when you could hear a full band in a pop song.
Oh, okay, wait. So
does that make sense?
3 a.m. is what you're recommending?
Yeah, that song specifically.
What song would you recommend for the Spanish love songs?
Oh, so I made a playlist that had all of the songs that made me fall in love with that specific record. I put Self-Destruction as a sensible career choice.
Okay.
Jake just hates me. He's like, I don't like any of your choices. It's fine.
Okay. Well, then I feel good with that.
Oh, I'm happy that song made it on the list. So that, that album made it on the list unless Jake's going to veto me.
I can't veto it. I have no clue what it is.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Wow. Honestly, how nice of you because I veto things that I don't know what they are.
You're like, never heard of it. Gone.
Well, it's only number 10 anyway,
Gone.
so who cares?
Yeah, it's pretty low.
That's why I love having these slots, guys.
Yeah.
Same.
That's how I got away with putting I Hope You Suffer on a list. So
I still can't believe it. That was a lot for me.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a good song. Whatever. I still think it's a good song.
Yay.
Cool.
Halsey. Manic.
Halsey Manic. Listen to 3 a.m. Okay. It's my turn?
It's your turn.
it is.
So this
I'm
is
shaking.
this is number 9. This person has been making music for a little while, but this year ended up being their year in a very big way with this record, and I think it's well deserved. I think it's one of the best records of the year. This is Bartees Strange's "Live Forever." Have you guys listened to this?
No, I have never heard it.
Bartees Strange. So he, it's like a mix. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of TV on the radio. It's got like big, boomy, anthemic rock with a lot of experimental, like, there's some like ambient hip hop stuff on it too. It's like a fantastic record from start to finish. He's been making music for a little while, but this year, apparently this album's been featured on like Billboard's best of list and all, like it got so much critical acclaim from the first single, which was Mustang, then Boomer, which came out, also very good. It's just a really good record by somebody I hadn't heard of until this year.
I have also never heard of them.
They're really good. I put as like the song to listen to Stone Meadows off of the album, but the singles are also very good. So Mustang is also really good. Boomer's also really good. The record's great, but those are really good places to start.
So I'm not going to veto this, and here's why.
Okay.
I, just like you said, I can't just like Jake said, I should say, I can't justify vetoing something that I've never listened to. So, if anything, that's just going to make me go back and listen to it
It's at least difficult to.
Yeah. I'm excited for you guys to listen to these.
Because I can veto something I hate in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bartees Strange is just fucking great, like inarguably good. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about him. I think he's from DC. Does a ton of really like. It's just the record's fantastic. I don't know a lot about him, but the record's incredible. And it's just I also love he's been a musician for a very long time, but like, you know how when people have their like years where it like really starts for them?
Yeah.
2020 was that for him in like such an interesting way, and watching that happen was like kind of joyous. So like every day it would be like new feature or new write up or like new this and like more streams and like another feature and like collabing with like, you know, just like every day it was like a new cool thing for him. And it was like just on social media alone, because I don't know this person, but watching that happen was like, it was just cool. It was like, it's been a fun, on top of the album being fantastic, it's just been a fun journey watching somebody find success.
Good for him.
In a year that's like arguably the
sucks.
shittiest. Like watching somebody have their best year in a world of shit was just like, you know what? That's great. I love it. And it's a great record. So
Good for him.
yeah. I'm going to say that.
I'll leave it.
You leave it? Jake, are you leaving it?
Yeah. I mean, I have no clue what it is, so I'm still just going to leave it.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Okay. Wow, look at us just not knowing each other's picks. We're going to go into number 8 then with my pick. Right?
Yeah.
Is my pick?
Yeah.
Okay. This album is really good. I didn't listen to it when it came out, and I haven't really listened to them beforehand, so this is also a new venture into their catalog for me. Of the genre, we all know this band. It is Warriors, You Are Someone You Know.
Oh man. That was higher on my list, but I'm happy it's on the list. That was a lot higher on my
Was
list.
it?
I feel like Jake right now.
Are you mad? Jake?
No, I'm not mad.
I've never heard it.
It's so great, Jake. You have to listen.
I've listened
If you're not listening to Warriors right now in this year 2020, you are missing out.
It's really good.
It's fantastic.
I've tried them a ton of times, and it's not for me.
Try them again, because this is a new record.
Because my friend Dennis is like a huge fan, right? And he's always like, let's do it. And it's just not for me.
I would argue that this one might be, though.
It might be.
Have you listened to anything off of this record?
No.
So I had previously tried in the past a song or two just because of the namesake, but it didn't really catch. And then this album came out, and I listened to the first 2 songs. I was like, this is cool. And then later, I just listened to the whole thing all the way through, and I was like, that is a phenomenal record.
What song did you choose as your way to dive in?
It's a tie. It's a tie. It's a tie between Power Couple and then What Comes Next.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to choose Terrible Boyfriend.
But Terrible Boyfriend is
a great song.
Such a good song.
But
oh, my God.
Power Couple this was my number 2.
Number 2 album. It's such an
Power Couple was the song
record.
that I put on there.
Yeah.
It's a great record.
I will argue, and this is not like a ding to the producer or whoever mixed it, because I don't know if this was like a home thing. I'm not the biggest fan of the production on it.
I could agree with that.
I think it's a little muddy. I think it's a little like, I think it's a little fuzzy, if that makes sense. It's not it's not clean or clear. And I don't know if that's the intention, because if it is, then it's just an aesthetic thing for me being a little iffy about it. But as an album, I think it's incredible. It's front to back, top to bottom, such a good record. Like queer anthemic existence about love and loneliness and toxic relationships and overcoming sorrow and trying to find footing when you're feeling, I guess, listless or I don't know, misguided, whatever. It's a great record.
Yeah.
It's a great record.
I'll give it a shot. This
is
the first one I'll give a chance.
Okay. Then that's all I can ask. It's truly, I think it's, I mean, again, I don't know the Warriors' back catalog very well at all, but I would argue just from this record, this is their best work.
Agreed.
But again, that's a very ignorant thing of me to say because I don't know their back catalog
I
very
do.
well.
I do,
You
and
do?
I think
and
you're
you
right.
think that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I listened to them I started listening to them at the beginning of last year. Actually, they were showing up on a lot of playlists that I was following.
Oh yeah.
And same thing is that like I listened to them and I was like, oh, this is good, and I would listen to them in passing, but not ever something that I would seek out to listen to. And this record is something that I listen to often.
And this was the one.
Yeah, it's a great record. But he's grabbing another? No, he's grabbing a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper. Cool.
Ooh, and
Oh,
Jim
and
Beam?
Jim Beam.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Classy.
We put Warriors
I'm a
on the
classy
list,
fella.
and Jake's like, I need alcohol.
Kentucky who?
Yeah, I know.
That was the first alcohol I ever drank.
Is it going to be on to my pick as I'm making my drink here?
Oh,
It is.
moving us right along to 7, which
It's
is
gonna
correct.
be your first pick.
Okay.
Jake Mundo.
Number 7.
I feel like since we talk so much, most of my picks are going to be really obvious.
Okay.
That's okay.
And that's because my number 7 is going to be Poppy's I Disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. But it's
I
Which, it's so funny. I was like thinking about it at work, like the story behind how I started listening to it. Because I remember we were joking about, there was something pertaining to Nicole Richie and her husband's record label, right?
and Poppy was on that label.
Yes, and we were making a joke about it, and I was like, this dumb thing with corpse paint. I was like, what is this? because you know I'm into black metal and stuff, right? And I was like, are these people appropriating black metal culture here? And then I decided to check it out.
So
And,
we got you into Poppy.
And that first song, Concrete, started playing. And it just was this wild ride where I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is like weird.
Like this can't be real.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that's
I
the
disagree.
So
I try really hard to not shit on things that other people love. It's this thing that I've been trying the past year or so. It's to not absolutely shit on the things that people love. But I'm so sorry, Jake. I'm going to veto it.
Wow. Okay.
You know it's gonna go higher.
Here we go. Hold
If it ends
on.
up at number-
Let me take a
You
drink.
know it'll go. You know it's gonna go higher. This is something.
Should I be re-strategizing?
Well, here's my thing: is do I agree with this pick? Not necessarily. Was I going to veto it? Absolutely not. Because knowing our history on this podcast with Poppy, I know for a fact that Jake would play it higher. I know it. I know you would.
I'm not going to tell you either way.
You're not
be
going to
honest
give
with
me a
you.
yes or no, and I know
Yeah.
that, but you have
God.
to believe in
'Cause I
your
want
heart
you
of
to- I
hearts
want you to really
that
I
think
he
do
will.
believe.
To
I
be
believe.
honest-
If Eric's eyes are pleading with me.
To be honest, I feel like she already took her hand off the piece.
It's kind of unfortunately.
Jake, I've listened to this record all the way through 3 times, and it's because
Yeah.
you talked about it a lot this year. This is something I genuinely tried. You know what?
I think you already vetoed it though.
Give me like 10 seconds. Can I have a 10-second timer?
I think you took your hand off the piece.
Is that just because you want to play it higher or what? You know
I
what?
don't know what to
No,
tell
I
ya.
stick by it. I veto it.
I don't
I
know what
really
to tell
don't
ya.
like this record. I
Okay,
really
so,
don't like it. I don't like her voice. I don't like the way it was put together. I
seven.
don't like metal that much, but that doesn't have really anything to do with.
So in its
my
place, I'm
choice
going to
to veto
play the debut LP from this band, Skeleton. They're a black metal band, and it's really tight. It's like that's the only real metal record I have in my top 10 this year. Everything
Okay.
else is either pop punk or I wouldn't even consider poppy metal at all. But it was a really weak year.
Is she too poppy?
It was a really kind of weak year for metal in general.
Yeah, it was very aluminum.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just a great record. If you're into like heavier stuff, it's really fun because it mixes like kind of like sludge, thrashy kind of riffs, and then it'll break into like a cool black metal part where it's just blast beats the entire time, and it's just
That's cool.
it just is this perfect blend of the like caustic, abrasive black metal sound. Where it's like abrasive to the ear, but somehow really soothing, and then it switches to these like really groovy, fun parts where you're just like fuck yeah, you're just like in your car
You're
bouncing
vibing.
to it and shit, and just vibing
Yeah.
hard, yeah, and so that's why it's on the list.
Is it spelled any particular way?
It's just called
Skeleton.
Skeleton. That's literally it.
And then what's the album title?
Skeleton.
Oh, it's self-titled?
Yeah.
Self-titled.
Yeah.
Cool.
Skeleton by Skeleton.
And the song that I would recommend off it is called The Sword.
The Sword. That honestly sounds like something I might vibe with.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that. It's like, if you think about, if you've ever listened to like Power Trip before, they're like really like vibey parts. It's like that mix of black metal,
yeah,
where it'll just go into blast beats all of a sudden, and you're like, fuck yeah, like you're like, yeah.
Because it's kind of heavy, basic, but the loudest shit you've ever heard. Drivey.
Yeah.
And then there's like a second of groove, and then it's just like
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, okay. Cool. If it's similar to Power Trip, I'd probably vibe with it. Skeleton.
Yeah. Word.
Where are they from? Do you know?
I have no idea. That's the thing with these black metal bands. It's hard to find information on them a lot of the time.
I'm going to say they're from Canada. Guess. Where are they from? I'm saying Canada.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Saskatchewan.
I'm going to guess New York.
I've got it. They're
Where?
from Texas. From Austin, Texas.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Power Trip
Okay,
also from Texas.
I mean, I was going to say, if you compare them to Power Trip, I should have said Texas.
Yeah. Like fellow Texans, Iron Age and Power Trip. It says like in this like Bandcamp Daily article about them.
There's some lead in the water out there in Texas.
It's true.
All these kids ingesting metal so regularly.
Wow. I really didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad
that
you
is
got
not an album that I anticipated playing today.
It isn't. Yeah, I'm also. This is really interesting because it is really showing our unique tastes.
Yeah,
kind
100%.
of
Yeah.
coming together as one, and all of us kind of being like, okay.
Us hesitantly being like, do I veto this? But I don't know this.
Be like, I'm not sure, but also, no.
No, I was very sure in my decision to veto.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that I did. I'm glad this weird shit is ending up on our list.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm good with Skeleton. I'm excited to check it out. You're good with it, shall we?
Oh yeah, totally. I don't have a choice. I vetoed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Sure,
okay. Then that means we're gonna scooch on over to number 6. This is Shelby.
Oh, I'm stressing now, actually. Okay, well, since you played my number 3, I don't have to worry about trying to get that on the list, Eric.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm gonna be bold and brave, and I'm gonna pick some of our friends.
The same ones I have on my list is the question.
Probably Jake. So, because I have to have this on the list because it deserves to be here on anybody's album of the year list, I picked Sarcasm's self-titled record that was released on Asian Man Records this year.
That was my number 8.
That's actually my number 3.
It hits me. Yeah, it hits me very hard in many ways. Mostly just because I really got into them musically last year when they put out Beach Blanket Bummer Pop. And I was like, oh, this is a great record. And it's got a lot of boppy hits. But this record, it really just showed them. You got to listen to them level up.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh,
It's gorgeous.
It's inarguably their best album.
Fully.
Completely, I think. Beach Blanket Pop was great.
Yeah.
And they have some fantastic songs before that. But as an album, they, like you said, have leveled up in this really interesting way. I mean, when When's My Right Time came out as a single,
yep,
I was like,
this song belongs on the radio.
This song belongs on the radio in 1998.
Yeah.
Like, what the fucking perfect, like, banger, droney, emotional, like, Stevie's...
And that's the song I chose for,
Is it?
like,
okay, cool.
for,
really?
like, being, like, a song.
That's
yeah, because
interesting.
ever since I heard it, I was like, I mean, Sarcasm is like, oh, we're in the studio, we're making a record. It's like, oh, great, I'm really excited to hear that. But when they released this single, I don't think that I could... I really was like, this song is, like, they're going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're going to... Like, this is it. Like,
Stevie's vocals when they do that kind of like, I thought I knew you, and I was just like, oh my god! I just the intention, like the severity of kind of like singing a note, but then letting it kind of disappear in kind of a cry. Ugh, obsessed.
Do you know what song I picked?
Oh, what'd you pick?
I Hate It
was
Here.
it Green Hornet? Oh,
oh,
That song is
that's a
phenomenal.
fantastic
That's a great song,
song.
too.
That's like my favorite
Oh
one.
my
That
god,
song's phenomenal.
So
it's
good.
such a good just rocker. You know?
is.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, all three of them have just evolved so much in their songwriting and evolved. And this isn't necessarily good or bad, but they evolved away from what they were writing previously. And I think that's what made this record really exciting to listen to. Is that every time I heard the next song, because I got to hear it a little bit early when I was doing it review for Bad Copy. Every time I got to the next song, I was like, I didn't expect this. This sounds great. That's just like the standard thought every time.
And that's not even to assume that like their stuff would be underwhelming, because that's not how I feel about them at all.
Correct.
But just knowing that like your expectations being high, and then for each song to then do something new and innovative and different, but in a way that's like exponentially better than what you had expected, is just, it's triumphant. It's great.
It is, yeah.
What a good fucking record. Like,
Yeah.
and also the fact that they're friends and they're like local people, or like, I mean, local to the Bay Area, but like, it's just, it is far and above one of the best records to come out of the year.
And it's exciting to be excited for your friends who made something so fantastic. And so I don't know. Just so much love for those humans.
I don't know if they're listening, but like,
we love you.
We love you. And that album is fucking
good
so
job.
good.
You made it on all three of our lists, and none
really
of us
great.
are in cahoots.
I know. We didn't even talk about this, but like, it's just, you can't argue with it. It's just a great record.
That's one of the two crossover points I thought we would have for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm happy that we got there. Yeah. That was one of them, because although I'm curious, wait, was Spanish Love Songs the other one?
No, I didn't. Honestly, I was like, Eric's not going to put that on his list. I knew that.
Okay, drag me.
Because I just know you. So it's like, it's, just looking at it.
Yeah.
I think there's still one that all three of us are going to cross over from that's going to come up later. So even though
I'm very
it's really
curious
low on my list.
about what that is.
Yeah. It's really low on my list, but I know it's going to be higher for other people.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it's high on my list either.
Wait.
But it's fine.
Hold on.
It's fine. We'll just move on. We can just move on from here.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll talk about it after. Okay.
Because
I'm scheming now, because I'm actually very curious, because I'm not sure what it is, but I think I figured it out, but I also might be wrong. So
yeah, that's true.
So this brings us back to you, Eric. Then
is it back to me?
Yeah, 9852.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
he's back.
And he's back. Okay.
Just keep rolling.
So number 5, it's going to be my pick. And now this pick, we've talked about previously a little bit. This is an icon and a star. Also, similarly, this record gave this person such a lift into the pop cultural worldwide zeitgeist of music. I think she's incredible. I think she is show-stopping. I think this album is fantastic in every possible way. It is Rina Sawayama's album, Sawayama. Yeah, I know. Plot twist. Is that who you thought I was going to say?
No, but I'm excited now to see how we go forward, because I think that you're completely right. She is a pop sensation that hasn't been sensationalized quite yet.
Because she was doing like a lot of bedroom stuff. I mean, I think she produced largely all of her shit early on. She made her own music videos. She was like DIY fucking queen.
Yeah.
Just doing like this, because like those first recordings, it was as if she was writing music for what would have been the Kim Possible motion picture.
Yes.
Like, she's writing songs that are of the early 2000s pop with the right filters, the right catchiness, the right hooks, the right reverb. So perfect, so incredible. Such like, it seems so bizarre to encapsulate such a specific period of time, and she did it with such flawless perfection.
And specifically in Excess, that was
then that
a 90s pop.
Oh yeah.
Bop.
Well,
Bop. I could hear Destiny's Child singing that song. I could also hear Kelly Clarkson singing that song, just in two specific, like, very different ways. Like, it's just great. And her voice is also gorgeous.
Her voice is incredible. And I think on that album too, she blossomed in this way that was like, because she had a very specific aesthetic before, but then like really came into it with this album, where you have all of these different vibes and styles, where it's kind of interrogating what pop music is, where you have something like Shut the Fuck Up, which is kind of a 1999 nu metal song with a pop chorus, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This is so bizarre and so interesting, but she does it in such a way that's just like captivating. And I think that's like the biggest takeaway with this album as a pop record. It's captivating. Every song, every moment, every hook, like I don't know. I just think it's so perfect. And the songs I would recommend are either Bad Friend or Shut the Fuck Up.
Oh, Bad Friend is
incredible.
Like goosebumps.
Oh, I'm just so happy for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her. Good choice. That didn't make my list, and I think it actually probably would have if I had remembered. That's kind of me being like smacking myself on the wrist like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was one of those that really, especially because I think it came out like at the start of the pandemic.
9 years ago.
9 years ago, yes.
Yeah,
and so it was very
decade ago.
I know, oh my God. But really, it's just what a phenomenal record from a phenomenal artist. That's my pick. Shout out to me.
Oh my God.
I'm taking off my sweater because it's warm.
Does this bring us to me or to Jake?
How do you guys feel about? Oh, I know how you feel about it.
Oh yeah.
Jake, how do you feel about it?
I don't know who that is.
He doesn't know what.
I said my new catchphrase, which is I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Well, when you hear it, can I send you Shut the Fuck Up?
Sure.
I feel like you would
listen
like
to
it.
I think he would too.
A la Poppy. Not to say that they're the same, but there's definitely
Poppy off the list and be like, oh, it's like Poppy, like further down the list.
So
I only mean that because
that's the only song that sounds like that, though.
Yes, because that song is very genre fuck in this way, where it's like implementing two very dichotomous vibes into one thing, but kind of making it this new and interesting take on both. Right. So that's why I would say that, and it's also just a fucking banger, and the video is so good.
And her voice is better than Poppy, so.
Oh, that I do think that's true. Okay.
Jake's like, sure. What are your thoughts, Jake? Are you gonna leave it, or are you gonna veto? Or how are you feeling?
I really have a hard time vetoing something that I have no clue what it is.
I think I like that about all of us.
Yeah.
And that's just gonna be the nature of this list for the most part.
Interesting.
So,
viewers, listeners at home, go open your ears to this record.
Open your third eye.
It's not what I thought you were going to say, for sure.
What did you think I was going to say?
Something that you're going to say later, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So just don't worry about it.
Because just the way that you described it really made me think it was going to be something else.
Wait, what did I say?
You said this album she already was well known, but this album made her like.
I know what you
everything that you did was just like, oh yeah, this seems right. I was like, this is low for Eric.
I know what you think I'm going to say. Okay, yeah, let's just keep going then.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Number 4, Jake, coming back.
Is it me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I feel like when I say this pick, Shelby won't be surprised. Anybody that looks at what I'm listening to on Spotify a lot of the time probably would be like, oh, they're definitely going to pick this.
Oh, I think I know what album this is.
I think I know what it is.
And it's good. It's Hot Mulligan's You'll Be Fine.
Yep. That's the one.
Yep, that's the one. I actually really liked that record.
What is it called?
Good job.
You'll Be Fine.
You'll Be Fine.
It's a nice little, emo boy Midwest record, with that screaming harsh voice over these like twinkly nice songs or like and I feel like on this record they stepped away from a lot of the straightforward stuff they used to do, and there's a lot of cool like weird like more poppy sounding as far as the instrumentation goes. Like it's not like what you would typically expect musically from like an emo band, which I think is really interesting. Like that song the single Equipped Sunglasses has really weird verses where it's just like really like weird like synconated guitar, and it's like not playing the entire time, and it's like mostly vocally driven, which is fun.
It's vocal and percussion. It's like this like kind of
which is my favorite combo.
Like kind of dragging drum beat that's also kind of pushing it through, and then just these harsh vocals coming through, and then you get this guitar like dunk, dunk, or like totally. And you're like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's just like a little like almost kind of like a 90s alt vibe to it. Which is
for
fun.
sure. Yeah.
I liked that record. It didn't make it on my list, but I'm not mad about it being on the list. It is a good record.
Yeah, they were a band that I kind of got into like last year or the year before, and then like this new one came out, and I was like just so into it because it just is so. I think it's like a next level thing for them, and it seems like they're blowing up off of it too.
They've gotten a ton of attention off of it. Yeah,
it seems like they're blowing up from it.
As we all know, if we follow them on Twitter,
they got verified. They got verified. This record got this band verified.
Yeah, so that's some fucking serious business here.
Hell yeah.
Record put Heart Attack Man on the maps.
The song that I would recommend is the first song on it, OG Blue Sky. That's the one that I would recommend off the record. That's probably my favorite one on there. Because it's got that chorus where it just is like, it just does those stops and he's like screaming over them and it's so good. Oh, it's great.
Hell yeah. No, I super duper support it.
I was picking between two emo bands. The other one I'll mention in the discards.
Okay.
But yeah, I was picking between like what. So that was number 3 on my list.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. So it got pretty close.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was pretty high up.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it. I definitely, I haven't listened to that album fully like I feel like I should have, but Equipped Sunglasses has definitely been played by me several times. It's a bop. It's a bop.
Totally.
Well, just like that catchy post-verse line, "Woe is me."
Yeah, so
and like
good.
every time,
that cool
"Woe
riff
is me,"
under it.
Map. Yeah, it's cool and catchy, and that part just gets stuck in my head. So I'm like, well, I have to go listen now. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
I don't make the rules. I have to go.
I feel like because if you listen to their older stuff, he does this like weird like rap rock thing where he's doing a Donnie thing, right? Where he's cramming in these long ass lines into the song.
Yeah,
and
arguably my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and in this record and what we're doing on the new Lightweight record too is we're stepping back and really trying to condense the thoughts down to more sung lines or lines that are more kind of like have more breath to them. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh, that makes me excited to hear the new Lightweight.
I know. I'm also really excited.
Arguably, Lightweight is one of my faves. So.
There's a song that Donnie just played through. Like he was like, "Here's the song." He just played it, and it made me cry because it was that good.
I love it.
Spirits Down would have been on my list last year. So
yeah,
It wouldn't have been on my list.
When you have some demos and you want to send them,
yeah, definitely
send them on over.
You know.
Yeah, because I have some, but they have no vocals, so it would be not exciting.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I don't want them without vocals.
Oh yeah, music, no thanks. I need vocals. Thanks.
That's just the kind of person that I am. I can't help who I am.
It's also hard to get a vibe without the vocals.
Fair.
Because like the song can be like driving whatever, but the vocals really
if I showed you any song that I have ever written without vocals, you'd be so fucking bored.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. Where it's like without vocals, this would be.
All right, these are 4 chords. I get it. Oh, these are those same 4 chords a different way. Cool. Cool. You did them backwards for the chorus.
Oh, go up.
Groundbreaking.
But you know what? You've already heard 3 of the songs that are on the next Lightweight record, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, number 4.
Wait.
It's my
No,
turn
number
now.
3.
No, number 4 because I'm number 3.
No, I was saying that mine was number 4.
Oh, yours
was
is number
capping
4.
it. I was
Yes.
capping it.
Oh.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, Shelby, number 3.
Okay, so this is my number 1 because I don't think it's going to make it on this list if I don't say it. This is the record of my 2020. Eric hears me all day, all the time, everywhere singing this record, and it is Women in Music Part 3 by Haim. Goddamn, do I want to write a record that sounds like this? The song that I chose for like recommendation is Don't Wanna, and I think there's a little bit more, not necessarily deep cut, but like some weirder songs on the album that I really love. But like if you're a starter, if you've never listened to Haim, I highly recommend listening to Don't Wanna. Vocally, this album has influenced me a lot this year, just on the way that I write, the way that I sing even. Just all around, I love it so much. So much. It was my number 1, so I had to make sure it made it on the list.
It's a fantastic record. Jake, have you listened to it?
No.
Oh, cool.
I'm a bad friend. Stop just.
So if you you're fine. If you listen to Don't Wanna, if you listen to the maybe not don't wanna. Anyway, this whole record, like the backup vocals, if like especially in Los Angeles, like these are the kind of backup vocals that I want to work towards, like for Lousy, just because we do lean poppier.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Sorry, but yeah.
Oh,
man.
Los Angeles is a great song.
I love this whole record.
It's a great record.
That's the song I listened to when I was driving through Los Angeles on my way moving to San Diego, and I was like in my feelings, like, oh my god.
It's also a very vibey album.
It is.
So yeah, there's like and we found out this term this year. Waterfall released their first 3 singles.
Yeah.
Because we're in music, we're in the know. Big Exec hit us up.
Those are
for
actual
money.
terms.
They're actual terms. So they Waterfall released the first 3 singles. Then when the album came out, those 3 songs were
the
bonus tracks. They weren't even the album.
Well, no, the Steps wasn't. The 2 songs.
Hallelujah.
Oh wait, no. Now I'm in it was the bonus track too, right?
Yeah,
They released 4.
Oh, okay.
4 singles. 3 of them were bonus.
3
tracks,
of them
so
were bonus tracks, and then 1 was the vibe of the album. That album was that whole vibe. It's like
if Sheryl Crow and Tom Petty got together and were like, we're gonna write this record for fucking.
Well, I was gonna say
nobodies.
if Sheryl Crow did Mushrooms and tried to write an album where she tried to infuse some elements of electronics.
Yeah.
This would be the Haim Women in Music Part 3.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of moments where it just like kind of the beat will be in the background, but then all the music drops out, and then it's just like somebody like or doing something, and then there's like a weird synthetic reverby key moment happening in the corner, and it's like it's very.
And these sisters shred. They shred every guitar solo. They write all of the drums. Danielle plays the drums on almost all of the songs. Like they produce most of it themselves. They write almost all of it themselves. Like. They're very self-sufficient in Hollywood on a level that a lot of people really aren't.
Oh, yeah. They're
incredible.
They're a fantastic band, and this album was fantastic. Although I will say their new song with Taylor Swift is bad.
Oh, I haven't listened to it.
Oh, it's not good.
I don't think Taylor Swift is good.
I don't like Taylor Swift
and
either.
It's her record.
It is her record. It's the one that shouts out Olive Garden in it. It is, because Olive Garden tweeted like, "Come on, Swifties, let's go to Olive Garden." It was very silly and dumb and silly product placement. But sometimes people talk about like Taylor's lyrics and being like really interesting and innovative. Eric and I watched the lyric video to it today. It is the most basic, fucking boring, revenge, love bullshit I've ever heard. It's so whatever.
Yeah. I don't stand a Haim and Taylor combo. I do stand Stam.
We do Stam.
I stand for Haim.
We Stam.
I love them so much.
Yeah, Haim rules.
When Something to Tell You came out, that was my record of the year for that year. So
oh.
They're just
so good.
They have my heart.
Yeah.
Are you going to veto me, Jake?
No. Okay. I have no clue what it is, so.
I'm so lucky this episode. You guys don't know my picks.
Well,
everybody. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I kind of like it because then it gives me something else to listen to. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jake?
We're going into the top 2.
We're going top 2?
We're going in the top 2, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, then it's my pick. I'm picking number 2.
Serious territory here.
So I'm picking my actual number 2, not my number 1, and it kind of bums me out that my number 1 isn't probably going to get on here.
Well, why don't you pick your number 1 then?
Because I think that this...
he needs to pick his number 2.
Because I do want to pick this one, just for like...
Because I'm banking on him.
Canonic... Wait, you're banking on me for the number 2 pick?
I know. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm really hoping that it's what I want it to be. So I'm just going to ride these emotions.
I'm going to say right now it's not, and I'm very sorry. And I know that this is a big moment for me.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure. But if I don't put this album on here, I'm going to be bummed out because I do think it's an achievement in many ways for this band. It is a band. And that band
that's not what I thought.
That band is Touche Amore, their album Lament.
Whoa.
I cannot tell you how many times I've listened to this album. I think it is, to me, and I know a lot of Touche fans are like, no, To the Beat of a Dead Horse and like earlier albums, whatever. Their last 2 albums are to me, the best versions of that band that's happened. Stage 4, I weep to that album. It's so intense and drivey and sad. This one feels like such an interesting evolution of what that sound is, where it's like still heavy, still intentional, still very drivey, but they're tying in these elements of like slide guitar and like kind of melodic sadness. There's still like the Julian Baker feature. Like they got what's his name? The lead singer of Manchester Orchestra.
Fuck if I know.
For the song Limelight, and it's just this huge driving outro with like where he's singing like this really sad thing, and then so Jeremy does this like big like screaming echo. It's just insane and beautiful, and like that song Reminders is also like such a fun progressive like pop rock song almost, and that's also apparently he said online that song is incredibly divisive in the fandom of the band because a lot of people love it, but a lot of people are like, that's not touche. And to me,
who are they to say?
But they're the ones who want that like thrashy early shit, which
Yeah,
again is also good. But that song Reminders is why I think this album's triumph in like this really cool and unique progressional evolution of what that band is and can be. You're seeing the melding of sounds, of vibes, of emotions, of moments, of memories, all coming together in this really beautiful album, start to finish. I think it is incredible. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I just what an incredible record. That's my pick. I know, and I sacrificed some things that I'm like, I can't believe I didn't say that.
And that's okay, though, because you have very strong feelings, it sounds like.
Because
I'm glad that you chose an album that you're passionate about.
I just think it's like, what an incredible album. Even though that other album's also super incredible, too.
Touche Amore at number 2.
Touche.
Album of the year.
Touche Amore, I got Lament on number 2. That's my pick.
Jake?
Songs to listen to. I'm going to say Reminders and Limelight.
That's a band that I've never really gotten into, despite people always being like, you would like it, but it's just never been my flavor.
Yeah.
Same on my end.
Yeah. But I'll just, I'll leave it there. After that impassioned plea, I'm gonna leave it there.
Thank you. No, it's what a good record. Like, I can't even handle it. That came out on the same day as the Sarcasm album, and I was just like,
how overwhelming.
There's no way both of these albums came out right. No, there's no way that I'm listening to both of these records. Like, these are both canonically these bands' albums. Yeah. My 2 and 3 both came out on the same day. I can't even believe it. Anyways,
that's actually very sweet.
That's my pick. Touche Amore. What a rage. Jake?
Yes.
I think you're going to round us off here.
Okay.
We didn't even recap the list. We were so excited.
Yes.
Oh, I know. We'll recap it at the end, and then we'll.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Oh, I did forget that.
We don't need to. Because
we don't need
you know
to.
Why?
We don't need to.
Because we're really diving into these albums of the year, and we're passionate, y'all.
Who needs it?
So
Who even
this,
needs it? JK, we do.
So this record, if you know me at all, it's no shock that I would play this at number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We know.
Of course.
It is my favorite band in the world. I think
he's wearing their shirt right now for reference, guys.
I think that when they call themselves the greatest band in the universe, it's not sarcastic. It is the new record from the Lawrence Arms, Skeleton Coast. And I will tell you why, but go ahead, Shelby, first.
No, I just a quick cliff note. This is why I felt okay about letting Jake have the number 1 spot, because I knew that he was going to pick this.
Yeah.
And it's not on my list, but it's definitely a good enough record where I could justify it being number 1 on an album of the year list. It's probably number 1 on many, 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 many people's lists. So,
they do.
Go ahead, Jake.
They weave this beautiful story about all these people that live on this Skeleton Coast. Like, each song is about this individual weird person that lives on this coastline amongst the bones and the ruins of the world and stuff like that. And I think bands that are over 20 years in their career don't make records this good anymore, most of them.
Fully.
Yeah.
like they've been a band for 22 years at this point, and they put out this record, which is just insane, especially considering how much better it is than the last one. And it is lyrically, I think Chris is some of his best stuff because it's just so full of like weird references and cool stuff, and it took me a while to warm up to a lot of Brendan stuff on this one. But now I really like a lot of it.
Arguably that this is Brendan's best work as well. Well, maybe not his best work, but it's really inching up there to be some of his best work. So obviously, I'm a Metropole stan, and that's where his best work actually lies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
one of my favorite things he's ever done is in the song "How to Rot" on this, where he does the "You think it'd be R, but it'd be the C." Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. So good.
That bad joke.
Yes.
But the way that he does it is good.
Is it? Yes.
It is.
It's so good. But yeah, and it's just, was like the weirdly perfect quarantine record because it's like a really weirdly negative record in a weird way. But yeah, it's firing on all cylinders. It's I don't know, it's just the best record of the year for me, and it just is something that is a record that I aspire to write more than anything else.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is most important, where it's like, man, I wish I had done that kind of deal.
I love those moments when you find a song that's so good that you resonate with so much, and you're like, fuck, I wish I had written
that. And I mean, is there any better sum up of this year than in Last Words, when it is, when all is said and done, Dressed to Kill for Oblivion.
Yep.
I love it.
I feel like that's and my song recommendation for the playlist and everybody is I think Under Paris is my favorite song of the record at the moment.
Under Paris.
Okay, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. It goes back and forth between that one and Ghost Rider because I like the woo part.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing just now. I was gonna say, well, personally, I love a woo moment, but I get where you're coming from.
And it just does that Lawrence Arms thing of like they're such good visual storytellers with their music, which I think is a great thing. Like at the end of the record, I literally see this guy on the Skeleton Coast with a coyote skull on his head, just away from the rest of the world while the rest of the world burns, and he's like enjoying himself, just being like a weirdo alone.
You love an apocalyptic narrative.
He does.
I do. It's good.
You love an apocalyptic narrative.
Good. Yeah. It's always good.
It shows.
Because we're always on the verge of it, so might as well.
Oh, 100%.
Might as well prepare.
Oh, so Eric, tell us our list. Tell us our album of the year
okay.
list.
Let's go over it.
The canonic list. You guys, this is the list.
These are the best records of the year. Unfortunately, that's just the case. We can't change anything now. We've written it down in my shit notebook, and it's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. So here we go. Number 11, it's going to be Spanish Love Songs' Brave Faces Everyone. Number 10 is going to be Halsey with Manic. Number 9 is Bartees Strange with Live Forever. Number 8 is Warriors, You or Someone You Know. Number 7 is going to be Skeleton with their self-titled debut. Number 6, Sarcasm self-titled. Number 5 is going to be Raina Sawayama with Sawayama. Number 4 is going to be Hot Mulligan, You'll Be Fine. Number 3 is Haim's Women in Music Part 3. Number 2 is going to be Touche Amore with Lament. And number 1 is going to be The Lawrence Arms with Skeleton Coast.
I feel weirdly sad.
Why?
There's a hole in this list. And that hole is Phoebe Bridgers.
That hole. Okay, so
I thought when you were going on that long rant, I thought you were going to play Phoebe Bridgers.
No, and that's the hard. That's truly the hardest part because my number 1 is Punisher. Mm-hmm. My number 1 album of the year, top to bottom, from start to finish, is Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher. I think she's gonna win whatever Grammys are coming to her. I think this album is fantastic. I keep using the word triumphant, but it really is so fucking good lyrically. I think she's one of the best songwriters out there. She literally just makes music for fucking ghosts. All of her shit is so intense and emotional.
I have a hard time looking at her without having tears in my eyes. And I've never had that feeling before about looking at a musician or listening to somebody sing, but I have a very hard time not getting teary-eyed whenever anything that is Phoebe is in my presence.
She's
I ordered
so-
my
I feel
sweatpants
like I
today,
like.
by
You
the way.
did?
Yes,
I
did.
feel like I weirdly inadvertently mentioned her name once, and you guys were like, "Oh, that's a cover song for the Spanish love songs one," and that's what sparked
and then
this
suddenly
whole,
we're both
that's what
like
sparked this whole
going
deal.
crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
that was
true for me.
So
it's true.
for me too, that was like
Yeah.
how I got into her was the Spanish love songs cover because I had
Yeah.
heard of her before, and then I mean that song is just phenomenal.
And then all of a sudden we're weeping over her
And
on
then
a regular basis.
yeah, suddenly in the span of 4 months, we're stands
I'd
just
say maybe
Yeah.
a year for me because that's
A
when I
year?
heard that cover.
oh same. But I heard the cover and I was like, oh, this is great. And then I didn't listen to that album until like months
Oh.
later, and then I listened to it
Yeah.
top to bottom, and I was like, oh.
Oh.
Well, what an absolute slay!
I love that.
And then I heard Kyoto, and I was like, "What's happening?" And then I heard Punisher, and I was like, "I'm dead. I died.
Don Quixote.
I'm dying." Huh?
I said Don Quixote.
Don Quixoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think.
Here,
What was
let's go
yeah.
over. Okay, so if we're
we're
gonna get into
getting
discards,
derailed.
then we'll just jump in to my list. Number 11 was kind of a newcomer. I haven't really gotten into them until, I guess this, and it is Teenage Halloween self-titled.
Very good.
It's very good. It's fantastic. I've never really listened to them before. Figure was the song from it. And then I switched because Barty Strange was my number 10. Number 9, I put the More Family Bands album because I do think that album is a fantastic example of pop rock in general. I think they did such an incredible job. Then number 8 is Warriors, You Are Someone You Know. Number 7 was Raina Sawayama's album. Number 6, I had Choir Boy with Gathering Swans. What a fucking vibe. Oh my God. If you haven't, it's just, what a fucking vibe. That album is so good. Number 5 wasn't actually Raina. I just wanted to make sure. Rena. I wanted to make sure she got on the list. But my number 5 was actually Miley Cyrus's Plastic Hearts.
Yes.
It's easily the best album she's ever put out. I'm going to say that just on the record. She does this incredible way of writing an homage record. It's like every song's a fucking
She just
slay.
really showed up at the end of 2020 and was like, "Here you go, bitches.
Here, my best work yet. Go off." And you're like, "Thank you so much, Miley."
I'm divorced and my music is good again. Here
Oh
you go."
yeah. Oh my God, she's so fantastic. My number 4, I went with an EP. I went with Soul Glow's Songs to Eat at the Sun. I think it is one of the best one of the best albums in hardcore to have come out in the last like 5 years. It's just unrelenting. It's literally everything I like about hardcore music. It's also like, it's unrelenting, unyielding, unafraid, fantastic fucking songs. It's 4 songs, so good. I mean, even the hip hop song in there is fucking sick. Like it is just Soul Glow, fucking so good. They're such a good band. They're chaos. I love them so much. Okay, number 2 was Touche, and then number 1 was Phoebe's Punisher. And then I had a really hard time because then on my not pick list I had Haim's Women in Music Part 3. I also had Beach Bunny's Honeymoon, and then Fiona Apple's Fetch the Bolt Cutters. I also had Lady Gaga's Chromatica, although that was not going to be making my list. I don't think it was an album of the year, unfortunately. And then an album that I didn't get to listening to, but a band that I like, Everything's Reanimator. Yeah, that's my shit.
Hell
That
yeah.
is it. Oh, and then I had Spanish love songs on that list also, but it just didn't make my actual.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can I say mine?
Yeah, go off.
Yay. Because we were very in line.
I'm sure
for
you
the
guys
most
were
part.
linked up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So my number 11 was the More Family Band's Missy.
Go off.
Specifically, well, not specifically, but I'm gonna tell you guys my songs that.
Oh,
I
yeah. Do it.
made a playlist of all of these records. Not all of them, but to help me with my list. And these songs stuck out the most to me. The More Family Band. I chose Yellow Streets.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. Number 10. My number 10 was actually Everything Goes by Hey Chels. A very great album. Yeah, so that standout song on that, I chose Masterpiece because it's so First of all, it makes me think of Aaron, and anything that makes me think of my boyfriend, I love.
Yeah.
Obviously. But just because a great group of people, wonderful humans that I love dearly, that put out like a crazy EP in 2018. Like they just came out of, not necessarily nowhere because they've all been in bands, but they came out and put that really great EP out in like 2018.
Yeah.
So I was already very excited to hear this because this is sludge pop at its finest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey Chels, they are my number 10. Spanish love songs. My number 8 was actually Chromatica by Lady Gaga. It made it onto my list. Yeah.
Whoa.
It was a great year for pop, especially.
It was a great year for pop.
Yeah, but a lot of pop influenced me this year. Like it was a great.
I had
year
mentioned that in our pre-show discussion that it was like a really like pop-centric year.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It really killed it. And then Halsey was number 8. My number 8. I had to make sure she made it onto the list because, oh man. 7 Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus. Like I said, she came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, you want to learn how to sing again? Here you go.
It's
sing this in your car."
The best her voice has ever sounded.
The best
it's
she's
guttural.
ever sounded.
Jake, did you listen to this record?
No.
Specifically, the song "Plastic Hearts" I think is a really great intro into it.
Well, What the Fuck Do I Know is such a good song.
A good opening track.
Oh
for
my
a record.
god.
Also, Angels Like You is just.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like a slow little ballad. Anyway, so then after that was Sarcasm. Then was Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. She didn't quite make my top 3. I think that her and Warriors were actually pretty tied for that 3-4 spot. I can't listen to Phoebe Bridgers without being teary-eyed.
It's so good.
I think her closing track on that record just absolutely shatters me. I Know the End.
Oh my god, what a good song.
And fantastic. So her and Warriors were probably tied for that spot, that number 3 spot.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I really wish made it onto this list, was Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa.
We didn't even talk about Future Nostalgia.
We didn't talk about Dua, and that's a crime.
It is.
Okay, so growing up, this made my number 2.
Is this what you thought I was going to pick?
No. I thought you were going to pick Phoebe.
Oh, okay.
So I made this my number 2, and it really was this year. The song that I chose for like maybe a new listener would be Cool.
Yeah.
But growing up as a kid, my dad played funk heavily. Like he mostly played funk music. So hearing an artist that came out here and like is giving life to funk music again.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure she's not the only one, but she's been one of the only ones to be able to break through the barrier of like.
Oh yeah.
like mainstream.
Who's doing it in such a
days.
big, visible way?
In a very big way. Very funky bass lines. Just fantastic. Her voice is fantastic. I love an Alta moment.
Oh yeah.
Which brings me to also loving Haim.
And they were your number 1.
Women music
Yeah.
part 3. Yeah. It was a big year for pop
I
for me.
totally forgot about. I didn't include Dua. That bums me out because she wasn't even on my other list. I love that album. Future Nostalgia is so good.
It's so good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask.
How many of your picks ended up on the list?
So many. It was a good episode for me.
I'm really curious.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel like not very many of yours, Jake.
5 ended up on the list from me.
5 ended up on the list for me too.
And
5
4
ended up on the list from me.
Whoa. Is that real?
Synergy.
Yes.
I love that.
How that happened,
shit.
how that works out math-wise, I don't know, but it does.
Well, that's how we
5.
that's how we ended up being in a band.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like we meet at the exact same point where we're like, oh yeah, this works.
Oh, now
Yeah,
I'm dying to
yeah.
hear. Tell us your list, Jake.
Okay, what's your list?
Okay, so my number 11 was this was the cover thing that I mentioned that was on my list. It is the Alex Melton PBR and Telly's EP. It's like 6 songs.
That was on your top?
Yeah, love it. I love it.
Whoa.
Man. Which
What a
is
mood.
it's pop punk Post Malone covers, which I love Post Malone as it is.
I need to listen to that. I love Post Malone.
Yeah, and it's just kind of fun. It's that fun kind of like boppy kind of like bouncy pop punk style still. Like the one that I would recommend off it is his version of Sunflower is really, really good.
Okay.
Off of that. That's the one that I'm like really into off that record. Number 10 this is a weird pick. It's by Darren Korb, who's a composer. It's the Hades video game soundtrack.
Whoa.
See, this is the weird shit that I was expecting you to put on that on this list.
Phenomenal. Like my number one game of the year. Spoils for my game top 10 video games list, but that's my number one game of the year. Phenomenal game, and the soundtrack is so good. That guy is a top-notch composer. It's Supergiant Games. They're the best game company. And all their games have extraordinary soundtracks because he's great composer. He's great at singing. He has I forget her name right now. I think it's Allison Barrett or something. She's a phenomenal singer. She sings all the songs, and they're just so good.
Stunning.
And then number 9, I had Lady Gaga's Chromatica.
Oh wow, you guys both put Chromatica on your
Wow.
list.
Very similar spots on the list too.
Yes. At number 8, I had the Sarcasm self-titled. At number 7, I had the Skeleton self-titled. At number 6, I had Mercy Music's Nothing in the Dark.
Shout out.
Killer record.
It's a great record.
That To Live song is within my top 5 listened to songs in the year that aren't our songs from the practicing. That song is so good. It's
Shout out
a
Mercy,
great
we love
record.
you.
Yeah, love them. My number 5 was Poppy's I Disagree, which is not a shock to anybody. I got it off the list. And my number
Which
4,
is also probably not a shock.
Yeah. And my number 4 was Worst Party Ever with Here Online. It's an EP.
I should have known you were going to pick them. You
Yeah,
listen to them so fucking often that I had to hop on board, and they are great.
Are they great? I've never listened to them.
They're very great.
Okay.
It's that and Hot Mulligan were fighting for that spot for me.
Okay.
It was like back and forth because that EP is so good. What is that song? What About You is really good. That song's really good. It's like a slow jam. And then number 3, I had Hot Mulligan, You'll Be Fine. Number 2, I had Spanish Love Songs, Brave Faces, Everyone. And number 1, I had Lawrence Arms, Skeleton Ghost.
Nice.
There was a lot of synergy in this.
There was. I'm happy with how it turned out.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel really good about it.
This is the least we've ever fought on the pod.
I know. Look at us.
Probably.
Partially because not all of us knew everything that we were all picking to argue about.
It's
and I think that says a lot about us as characters because we don't argue about things we don't know about.
It's true because it's also that's unfair. It's unfair to do that. Like because it just you're arguing nothing because you don't know
It's hard to shit on things you don't know.
Yeah.
Although I am surprised Machine Gun Kelly's album didn't make it on. No, I'm just kidding.
I've never listened to it.
But his duet with Halsey, you're right.
The duet with Halsey
good.
is
That's
very
the only
good.
one that I really liked on that record, though.
Hey everybody, it is Eric from Lousy Advice, and I'm just including this little tidbit in there because this is actually where the audio cut out for the episode, so we don't have the other ending portion of the episode, even though we did get through the list. For some reason, our audio equipment did just cut out, and then subsequently we did receive a very urgent, very pointed email from Machine Gun Kelly's representative saying they did not enjoy the content we were creating and they wished for us to cease and desist. They would be pursuing legal action if we were not to announce Machine Gun Kelly's Tickets to My Downfall as the only album to come out this year. Not best, but the only album. So in pursuant with the threat, we're going to go ahead and cancel everything we just said. Machine Gun Kelly's album was the only album to come out this year. We love you. Rate and review 5 stars. Mwah. Hey y'all, it's Eric again. I do just want to follow up again. Sorry for keep cutting in here. Lousy Advice does have a new song coming out. It should be out whenever this episode is out. So go stream it everywhere. It's called I Won't Be Home for Christmas. It is a Christmas song. It is canonically the only Christmas song. JK, there are so many others, but it's very good. So go listen to it, stream it, share with your friends, cry to it. It's the perfect COVID Christmas song. So again, to reiterate, Machine Gun Kelly will be pursuing legal action against us, and we are putting out a Christmas song called I Won't Be Home for Christmas, no relation to the Blink-182 song of the same name. Blink-182, don't sue us. We love you. XOXO, buy our stuff and listen to our content, and I don't know, just go